So this is Massive, the world's largest cruiserweight, and you're watching and listening to Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm out.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC, and I'm joined this week, with everything working hopefully, by Tommy.
Please God, tell me you can hear me. Okay, you're laughing, so you can hear
So far, so good. So far, so good. And we got Mike.
Mike, I love wrestling, and like Cesaro WrestleMania, and apparently no other pay-per-view afterwards, love always wins. Boom.
That is definitely going to be a topic of discussion
Yeah,
as it relates to Cesaro.
Oof.
My lord.
Eesh. Bro.
It's just not right. It's just not right. So.
You know what's messed up for Mike more than any of us, man? I just feel bad about it. It's like, bruh, did he do something that I'm not aware of? Damn.
I don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense. But I digress. We're gonna get on to that. Burnsy, I see you. Here we go, baby. Yes, sir.
Burnsy's here as always.
Burnsy's here. Appreciate it as always. Twitter, as you can see, just under Tommy.
Finally points again.
CCG _ WrestleCast.
I tried my best, Tommy. I don't think I could do it as well as you did.
You know,
I tried.
we didn't point
I
as
missed
well.
it so much. I was pointing in the chat, like legitimately I was in the chat, and I was pointing out. I was like, "It's there." I just can't see me do it. So.
As you no doubt have guessed, today we are going to be recapping, giving our thoughts, see how we did our predictions, and giving our ratings on WWE Hell in a Cell, which, as Mike said right before we went live, kind of turned into a 4-cell weekend. It really
They just went Oprah with it. They were like, SmackDown, you get Hell in a Cell. Raw, you get Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell, you get Hell in a Cell. Everyone gets Hell in a Cell.
I didn't see NXT tonight, but can they confirm if NXT?
He was like looking up when they got down there.
No,
like,
actually,
oh,
you
okay,
know
we're
what?
safe. We're safe.
You know what? You said that there is a Instagram page that always I check for wrestling news for WWE since I don't watch them as much. And let me make sure that there was no Hell in a Cell on.
You know, I'm
NXT
not gonna lie, I did not watch all of NXT either, so I'm not 100%.
And check,
Hold on,
check the
so
tape.
far, I don't, yeah.
Can you check the taping for main event too, just to make sure they didn't put one on main event as well?
Oh my God! It was Mansoor versus Ali in Hell in a Cell.
Bro, speaking of which,
Okay, that
congrats.
would actually be kind of cool. So.
Yes, and actually they said that the ring for that match was considered Saudi Arabian soil, so Mansoor won. So.
Wow. Real quickly though, congrats to Ali. He did announce today that him and his wife are expecting another child. So congrats to them.
Nice.
Yes, they did announce that on Twitter. So
I don't know if you saw this hilarious tweet someone said about him. Like they said, so it was like back in March, and someone said, "What's the first thing you're gonna do when you get home?" And he said, "My wife." And someone tagged the day and said it. And someone said, "Oh wow, you weren't kidding."
Well.
all right. Well, as you no doubt have guessed, we are talking Hell in a Cell. Let's jump right into this now. When we made the predictions last week, we did this on a Tuesday, obviously, and then cards subject to change, and boy, did it ever. Even before SmackDown that Friday, they went ahead and announced, and it seemed like they were listening to the show. That's what I'm going to run with. Because Mike and I and Tommy through the chat, and a lot of people were saying, why in the world is Roman versus Rey Mysterio in a cell when this is the first time they're meeting up for this? There's a missed opportunity for Rey to get on Father's Day weekend. Why isn't Bayley versus Bianca in a cell? Why aren't Cesaro and Seth wrestling at Hell in a Cell? These are the matches that should be happening. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, on Thursday they announced, I think it was Thursday or Wednesday night, I can't recall, Mysterio versus Roman Reigns is taking place Friday on SmackDown. So Fox is basically getting a free pay-per-view match. And this harkens back to what I think Mike said on the show last week, where Roman's going to pull the whole, if I'm not last, I want to be first. But if he's the head of the table, why should he have to go first, right? So it makes me feel like, okay, because we have other plans for what should go last, and the way the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view ended, it made perfect sense for that match to go last. They wanted to make sure Roman got to go last on his own show, so that's why they put him on SmackDown. That's my theory. Either way, I think Hell in a Cell is better because that match was not on Hell in a Cell, because it seemed out of place. But it worked out well on SmackDown. You know?
Yeah, it did, and I mean, I don't know if y'all watch it on SmackDown. It's, as much as they gave Ray a chance to use a chair and get in as much offense as possible before Reigns just kind of killed him, but
it's pretty predictable how it was going to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, and not to get too off topic, but that's just their problem with their main eventers. Like, they want to make them so OP that having regular matches and not big star-studded matches with them just seem lackluster because you don't really believe other people can actually beat them. So.
And if I can, since I'm back on the show finally, I'm going to go ahead and put on my Japan hat back on.
Okay.
That's the difference. Like, because I love getting into this argument with people when I declare I'm an Okada fan, and they say, well, what's the difference? Well, the difference is sometimes you believe Okada could lose. There was the possibility of that actually happening sometimes, and that's the thing. It's like the matches he was in, even when he won, it never seemed like he was just like toying with the opponent. I mean, hell, when they were in Dallas for the G1 kickoff here, him and Tanahashi, it felt like they were main eventing Wrestle Kingdom all over again, and I mean that in the nicest way possible. They put on that kind of match,
right?
And so the thing with Roman Reigns is, it almost felt like he was just toying with Ray, and it's like, come on, guys, it's like, and also, I hate to say this, but did anyone really believe on a random SmackDown and a random Hell in a Cell Rey Mysterio was going to pull up the upset of the year? Granted, stranger things have happened. It could have, and I would have laughed until I passed out if it had. But come on.
Not with.
I agree.
If it was any other champion right now besides Roman Reigns, maybe. But Roman right now is your top heel. He's the guy everyone hates right now. He's by all accounts,
he's in your company right now.
Yeah, and so many people are saying in interviews on podcasts, he's the number one guy in WWE. Finally, even CM Punk said it, for crying out loud. We know years ago he didn't have the nicest things to say about Roman Reigns. Keep Roman Reigns strong, make him look strong.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that was an insult as much as towards the directors and the
brass,
their people backstage. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it was better suited, and I think not having Roman on Hell in a Cell really got everybody else to step up. After we recorded our show on Tuesday, or we were live on Tuesday, they changed Bianca and Bayley to a cell match. They added Seth Rollins and Cesaro. They officially they had Alexa versus Shayna. We had that. They added Sammy versus Kevin Owens. And
that was on SmackDown.
Yeah. And then the pre-show was Natalya against Mandy Rose.
Yeah.
Nothing really good to talk about there, but talk about the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I mean, it was a pre-show. It's nothing bad against the ladies. It was just, it did its work. It was people still filing in. Bianca and Bayley in a cell opening the show, and they basically came out and killed it and said, all right, top this, everybody else. And I personally don't think anybody else did. That was
I was just about to say top this, everybody else, and literally no one did.
You might be right.
Yeah. I mean, I thought some of us were thinking, I was saying, hey, Cell's coming down first. I think I said on the show, if they're in a cell, they maybe potentially could go on last had it not been for this last chance match for Drew McIntyre. But they went first and they killed it.
Yeah.
And for anyone saying the women don't belong in the Hell Cell, because that was a big criticism. I think Sasha and Charlotte did it first because the whole table didn't break. Bianca Bayley was awesome,
They never really accept a table not breaking as the standard of whether a match was good. Sometimes I've landed on tables. They just hurt. So you don't have to go through them for the paint to shoot through you. It's like, oh, that's a solid surface. Okay, That was painful.
Bernsey said it's true. An Okada match is always gripping. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. So, but yeah, this match was great. I love the psychology. I love that Bayley is tying up Bianca's hair to things. Needs to go to Boy Scout camp and work on her knots a little bit. But I think, I honestly, after this match, I really don't want this feud to end. I really don't. It's been really good.
I only do because I want to stop seeing Bayley losing.
Okay.
Like, I know she's doing a great job putting over Bianca, and she's killing it. But like I know it doesn't hurt her necessarily because she's doing such an amazing job. But just on a personal note, I just want to see her get back into something where she's winning for a while. But I get what you mean.
Yeah. Tina, I will know, she was watching this with me too, and she thought that Bayley looked like more and more like she's wearing a wig just because the way the hair was teased. Mike, you were theorizing that a face turn is coming. Maybe she's growing her hair back out. Who knows? But my thought is,
I still think it's down the line. But I would, yeah. I mean, it's eventually going to happen with fans back too. Fans are going to give her the love, that she deserves what she did during the pandemic.
She's going to be one of the people they're going to cheer for the match, boo probably during it, and cheer afterwards. Because I hate to say this, but she's almost bulletproof at this point as far as like being hated because she did so well during the pandemic era of being one of the superstars of it. It's like people appreciate it. It's like if you didn't want to see anything else WWE related, which was most of the time, you wanted to see what Bayley was doing. So
yeah,
definitely. I mean, honestly, looking at your theory, I say I want this feud to go on because maybe at some point they do a double turn. I could see Bianca more and more slowly becoming a heel with this character. She's very arrogant.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying, but I think that's something. I think it's still too early.
Well, I'm not saying now, But
yeah, that's what I mean. Is like she just won the title at Mania a couple months ago. She's clearly, the big thing they want to push. I see her holding this for a while, especially because they've watered down their women's division so much.
Yes.
With Raw's just. Anyways, we'll talk about that match. Yeah, anyway, the women's division just needs something, a little bit of injection. But I'm sorry, I saw the pay-per-view and I heard what they set up last night.
Mike, your explanation of Raw was just perfect. To be honest with you,
Okay, we'll get to it in a minute.
Yeah, Bernsey, ding dong, hello. Yes, that's what.
Heck yes.
Yes. Let's see. What other matches besides Bianca and Bayley stood out for you guys? Other than the main event.
Well, I mean, Cesaro and Rollins was a great match in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I wasn't happy with the
result.
But they didn't. It was kind of a quick thing. It wasn't like he got destroyed. It was just kind of Rollins is kind of sneaky. And they kind of wanted to remind you, I guess, he is still a really good wrestler and, really smart. He used to be the architect or whatever. So, he won by kind of being a technician and sneaking in the roll-up. So, it's funny you just said, I hope that the Bayley-Bianca feud is going on. I'm kind of afraid that the Cesaro-Rollins one goes on because I thought it should have ended after Mania. Mm-hmm. They did another match on SmackDown so Roman could get into the title picture. And so even though I think I picked Cesaro, I was afraid of that. I was like, are they going to let Seth lose 3 times? And again, it wasn't a bad loss. But I feel like that also there may be another match, by the time they get to Money in the Bank. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes too.
Do you feel like this loss really hurt Cesaro in a way with what they're building up? And the reason I say that is because, obviously, on a level, wins and losses don't particularly matter in WWE. A lot of it is about how entertaining you are, what the narrative is, what the promo is. And the entire build-up to this match has been Rollins saying Cesaro didn't deserve the title shot he got. He didn't deserve to be in that spot. That is my spot. I should be there. And he goes out and wins. And that kind of confirms that whole narrative. Like, Cesaro is not main event material, at least on the storyline that they're running with. Do you think this is kind of going to be the story for Cesaro where this is the lull and he comes back? Or is this just another Cesaro curse, as fans, like we all think, is that it's just, he had his moment, now they're just going to let him go.
I mean, that's what I'm afraid of. He's kind of in limbo now, right? If you come back on SmackDown Friday with some sort of strong storyline where he responds, he beats up Rollins, challenges him again, maybe. Otherwise, then there's that fear of he's back in the, Cesaro, thanks for being a good hand. We gave you a couple matches. Now here comes tag team number 9. He's going to be, him and Nakamura back again or something, and it's. There's always that fear. I mean, it's, it's inductive reasoning. You see the pattern. At some point, you got to believe that's the truth. So it kind of depends on Friday and what happens. So
I want to believe that they're gonna not do that. Because I want to believe that what they'll do is have Rollins lose to Roman at some point, and that way, Cesaro could say, "Well, you didn't beat him either." So they can battle out for number 1 contender again. But, like you said, this is still Vince we're talking about. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. I know there was a talk that a superstar shakeup or draft may be coming soon. Mm-hmm. I think he might need to go to Raw because I don't know if they're going to give anybody to beat Roman anytime soon. Especially not when they keep talking about, down the road at next year's WrestleMania, they may want to bring in The Rock or, there's talk about Roman and Cena. Reigns has kind of got to that position. And again, I know y'all want to believe it more than I do. And, I'm the big Cesaro mark, but I don't think they have that kind of feeling in Cesaro that he's a big main event type guy. At least with the way it goes with Reigns, Mm-hmm. So I still don't, and I probably have less now after the last 2 pay-per-views that they would ever put him over Reigns anytime soon. So I would almost want to either see him, maybe go back and beat Apollo for the IC title and have a solid run, kind of, Miz style, where he really solidifies it for a long run, or just draft him over to SmackDown.
Or maybe if he qualifies for Money in the Bank, maybe he cashes in on the WWE Championship and makes a run at Raw, like you said. Like, we don't know if there's going to be a shakeup, but if you cash in for the Raw title, you're pretty much added to the Raw roster, right? So.
Yeah. Did they allowed the briefcase holder the last couple of years to cash in on either show, right? Not only their own.
So. Yeah.
They always have.
Right? Okay. Yeah,
when they first did it, Edge won it from somebody, and he wasn't on that show. Mm-hmm. But he challenged for it anyway, and they just dragged him over. So, and honestly, I would be down for that because I will be down for a Bobby Lashley Cesaro feud, really. So I'm cool with that. Let's make that happen. So
yeah,
that would be a great match too.
And to be honest, if it's the WWE title, it's got more history and prestige than the Universal title. He gets added to.
You know what I want?
What?
I just figured it out right now. I know we're talking Hell in a Cell, but I want him to win the briefcase and take it off Karrion Kross and go down to NXT for a while. And then you got Cesaro.
There's something to that.
Think about it.
They could threat that. They could threat that. You could see Cesaro appearing and threatening every.
You got Cesaro. Then you got Cesaro and Cole, Gargano, Finn Balor again. You just have like a bevy of matches that Cesaro is suited for. Mm-hmm. Because he's. What's that?
NXT, the Diamond Mine debuted, and it's actually Roderick Strong leading it.
Interesting.
It's him, Tyler Rust, and Hideki Suzuki.
Huh.
So NXT has really embraced the faction warfare that we're seeing a lot in New Japan and AEW and Impact. Yeah. So. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. The Diamond Mine.
Interesting. All right.
Scott Hall comes out to assist. They can't get DDP because he does AEW stuff, but he was the Diamond Stud.
Let's see. Other matches. Charlotte and Rhea Ripley good match, but the DQ finish is like, oh, I mean they're gonna do this again. Charlotte's gonna get another title shot, and they're gonna add, a DQ thing.
It's like I said before. This has made it hard for me to be a Charlotte fan. Think about that. He's making it hard for me to be a Charlotte fan. Think about that. You know what? I gotta be honest. This is also the problem to me, and it's not. And you know what? I'm gonna be fair. It's not just WWE. It's pretty much most major companies. This is another problem. One women's title.
Yeah.
I think this is honestly one of the issues that they have. You know what? I love AEW. It's a criticism I have of them too. It's a criticism I have of a lot of companies, but not like the companies that are just getting their women's division started. But it's like a lot of other companies that have a solid women's division. Like I even think Impact should now actually create a second women's title, like a Intercontinental or something like that.
For both shows, though.
Again.
For both shows, because they have a women's title on each show. So if you're talking about a secondary title, would they have to have a Intercontinental US type thing, or again one that could go back and forth?
See, I don't know, because before they started firing everyone left and right, I would have said for both shows, but but then that day where they released literally half their rosters happened, and I was like, well, damn, so much for that idea. But right. This is the kind of the problem. It's like, and again. This is like where it's like for me it's like it's not really on Charlotte. She doesn't book the show, although there is all evidence to the contrary sometimes. But it's like it's just like it's not her fault. She keeps put in this really irritating, repetitive position of being number one contender when when there are other women on the roster. I think Vince forgets he has other women on the roster.
Very much too, especially when, I guess supposedly she got in trouble, wasn't even on Mania, and then post Mania she's right back in the spotlight, so.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, that's a punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm almost with Rhea where I was with Charlotte and Asuka for a while, where I was like, I almost want Rhea to go, look, here's the belt. Like, you're just going to keep getting matches until you win this thing. Let's just here's the belt, okay? Just like, I'm right there with you. Like, I don't want to hate Charlotte, but they make it really hard. Plus, I don't get her character. And again, I don't know if this is WWE telling her or this is the way she perceives her character. But again, I don't know if you noticed after the match and Rhea's going up the ramp and she's kind of like smirking and laughing because she pulled the one, where she got the DQ so she could hold on to the title. And Charlotte's like sitting against the ropes. It was just like, you pulled a smart one, you B word or something like that. And I'm just like, what is this character? Like, you're just the smart old veteran who all the kids are learning against. Like, it's just so weird. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm not Ric Flair's daughter, but everything I do is Ric Flair-esque, so I don't know.
You know what I actually wish, and I just thought of this. It's like it's going to be completely obvious if they ever did it, but I'm so wanting her to do something else. I don't care if she like kind of went like her own Ingrid Bernables way, like just started like just grab some people, formed a faction, and just like changed their attitude. Look, yes, we all know.
She started to copy his moves, so
yeah, that's what I was about to say. We all know who her fiance is. They're only WWE purists who never ever look at the internet don't know who she's engaged to, and even that to me is impossible. How you don't know that? But it's like, but let call a spade a spade. Because to me, Naito, when he did it, he was very blatant where he got the idea from. He had their names on his shirts. It's called LIJ. It's just adding De Japón to the name. Who cares? It still worked. It's still one of the most over factions in Japan right now. It still work. That can work. Just screw it. Let's steer into the curve is what I'm saying.
I would definitely be into some sort of a character change for her. Just and she is like we jokingly said, but she is using a bunch of Andrade moves, so just go all the way with it.
Because see, I think if she did that, and also, like even if she changed her music, changed her outfit, came out in like kind of like Naito does, just wear your T-shirt and like a cap and just walk out that way, just switch it up for the love of God, switch it up.
Oh my God, I just had this random thought, but could you imagine Charlotte coming out and being like Riddle, and being like acting like a I don't know, can we say a stoner? But
Bruh.
I mean, that's totally not what he does. He's just a cool California kid. But
yeah,
That would be
I
something.
can see her like, bruh.
Bruh.
Hey, Rhea, you beat me. Awesome.
Okay, I'm
Awesome.
interested to see what
So cool.
Steady jumped in. He says, going back to Cesaro, I don't feel the push is over. It's going to take some time. Roman's downfall will need to come from friction within the family. At least that's what it feels like they are slowly building to. Yeah, I agree with that. But if friction within the family might lead to his downfall, do they still run Cesaro as the guy that eventually beats Roman?
Again,
Yeah.
not with the way they're. I can't.
Which it's fantasy booking, yes, because I would, in a perfect world, I would like to see one of the Usos, either Jay, who's been trying to have his back, or Jimmy, who's just sick of this crap, cost him the belt, and then Cesaro win it. Or actually, I prefer if one of the Usos beat him for it. You know what? I still stick by this. After last year, I'm still for Jay winning a world title. I don't care. Because if you want to talk about somebody stepping up to the plate when they were asked to, they're like saying, did you get one shot, step up to the plate?
Mm-hmm.
There is no bigger success story of that in the wrestling. That was like one of the few things last year WWE did that I think they did better than everybody else was Jay Uso's come up. I can confidently say that. You know, it's because to me, it's like, I know when we talked about like Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy being like homemade AEW stars, but everyone, myself included, put Jey Uso in that niche part of a tag team wrestler, and that's all he could do. Then he stepped up.
Yeah.
So honestly, I would be just fine if he was the guy who unseated Roman Reigns because he freaking earned it.
Yeah.
So I would be cool. I would be absolutely fine if that's the route they would.
And that would, I don't know. To me, that would also be such a fun twist that would definitely not be expected and be something that would get people talking. You know, in a positive way.
It would be like when Bully Ray won the TNA World Title to me, because you didn't expect it. It's because you know he's a tag team guy, and yeah, he did break off from Devon at the time, and he was like doing his own thing. But you still didn't expect a tag team wrestler really have that successful of a singles career, and he did. So I would love it for Jay if that happens. So you know what? Screw it my expectations. Let the tag team guy win it. Who cares?
Also, real quick, so he doesn't think there's any hard feelings. Shout out to Steady, who unofficially in the chat Sunday night went 5-1, even though he was picking as the show was going on. I'll give him props so he doesn't think, and I'll say it live on the show, so he doesn't think that
I thought we were going to even bring that up.
Here's bringing it up. But here's the thing. First, he follows up and says yes with help from one of the Usos, and then Roman spending time with that feud after losing to Cesaro. Good possibility. I like the theory. Good fantasy booking. When we get some Money in the Bank and Slammiversary, Steady, you're more than welcome to join us, because we might be doing that show live on a Saturday, and you're making your picks that day or that weekend. So, see what you got then. Yeah. So.
Real talk, if Cesaro comes back and eventually gets the one to beat Roman Reigns, I'll say nice things about Snyderverse for like a year. if they actually did that with Cesaro, I don't care. You could. I'll live.
If Cesaro, I can see you being in that good a mood.
I'll live stream my reaction to the 4-hour Snyderverse, and I'll say nothing but positive things the entire movie.
Look,
if he beats Reigns.
Say what you want about Zack Snyder. The fact that he tweeted a certain picture of Batman and Catwoman when all that controversy was going on and called it canon, dude's a legend for that. But I digress. Let's move on to...
I had a whole video about that myself.
Okay, but WB executives don't exactly set the bar high.
They don't.
Making them look bad.
No.
I was
mean,
so thinking that when they said, I was like...
That's another discussion, because it relates to the Harley Quinn animated series, which we're not rated R on this one for that. So, but
that's like the 9th man on the roster dunking on the G League. Let's not get too carried away.
Yeah, let's get too crazy. But anyway, main event of the night: Lashley against Drew McIntyre. This was Drew McIntyre's last chance. If he did not win, he cannot challenge Lashley for the title as long as Lashley holds it. Unless, of course, the stipulation is he wins Money in the Bank, he wins the Royal Rumble, yada, yada, yada. He earns it one of those ways, right?
Well, I don't know what they clarified on Monday. I didn't watch the whole show.
Well, that's usually how the stipulation
he
works.
wasn't a Money in the Bank qualifier.
Yeah.
So, even though he didn't. But
but that's usually how it works with these types of stipulations.
Though, but
right.
Yeah, I guess their one way around it is if he wins Money in the Bank, he has to challenge Roman. You know?
I think they did a similar thing to Steve Austin once, and then he ended up winning the Rumble, and he got to challenge at Mania anyway. I think they did something similar. It was a lesser known part of that feud, but the match itself was really good. Got a bit creative. Kind of, I was like, I'm sorry, you're not gonna make me believe that you can trap Drew McIntyre at a corner of the cage with one kendo stick. Sorry, you got to come up with something a little better than that. Put a steel rod or something like that. But two big guys in a cell, it went off pretty well. I was a bit concerned about how these two guys were gonna do. You don't expect guys this size to have the stamina and everything, but man, they bloodied. I think like Lashley had a gash right here. You could see McIntyre had some. Well, his back was horrible. It was like, golly, it was gross.
He had some battle scars for sure.
The way the cage got opened. Here's what I'll say about the two Hell in a Cell matches that I liked this night. The psychology in both of them was really, really good. I didn't say it enough when we talked about Bayley Bianca, but they're smart. Everything makes sense. And this, it made sense. It made sense how MVP got in there and got involved, ended up taking the bump and ends up costing it. It made sense, you know. But I don't think this is the last time we're going to see McIntyre challenging for the title. I think it's just going to be a little while before we do again. And obviously, I think the setup here is, as people have rumored to be saying, Lesnar versus Lashley at SummerSlam.
I would hope so. Mm-hmm. I've heard conflicting reports.
Yeah.
But it would be a hell of a match.
I'll admit I'd be down for that.
Let's see. So as far as what's next in the line, like the last two matches we talked about, they're going to do Rhea versus Charlotte again at Money in the Bank. That's confirmed. No stipulation as far as DQ lose the title thing has been added yet. We got time. Lashley, as Mike mentioned, with
do
Raw,
a hair versus hair match.
Yep. Right. Lashley's going to be taking on Kofi Kingston because on Raw we got a fourth cell match, just for the hell of it. Xavier Woods against Lashley because why not?
Okay. Okay. Look, let me be fair. I remember back in what was it, '98 when they hit me before the Mick Foley, before the Mankind Undertaker match. They did like a kind of like a weird blow off Hell in a Cell match thing, except it wasn't really a match because Undertaker just kind of trapped Paul Bearer and beat the crap out of him for like the end of the show. But it's like this is the problem, and one of the guys I follow on Twitter said this. I am fine with this no longer being a pay-per-view concept and Hell in a Cell being the place where feuds go to end. Which is like, to me, that was always the point of Hell in a Cell. It was never to be a gimmick as far as like for other matches just randomly happen. No, this was like the last straw. This is like when things had finally gotten to their point of like, we're done with this. Only one of, like, to me, the bigger ones was when they did it for Shawn Michaels and Triple H. Right. I mean, my only complaint about that match was they wrestled for a long time. I was like, holy crap, these guys are still going. But it's like that's the kind of feud. It's like, you know what, we've done this all the time. And one of my favorites, which is like to me is an unsung hero of Hell in a Cell matches, was Undertaker and Batista. Like, you know, it's like, you know, they they had started WrestleMania and they had been wrestling all that whole year, and they finally got to, I think it was Survivor Series, and they had the Hell in a Cell match because they had been beating the high holy crap out of each other all that year, and that was their final, like, you know, and that's what I want for Hell in a Cell to be. It's not just another stop in a feud; it's the end of the feud. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, or if it's not, it's like where things finally change up a bit. But, you know.
All right, I think I figured out what the next iteration is, because I agree with you. Like, I think Hell in a Cell is starting to lose some of its luster because it's just it's just whatever month you happen to be in, not this feud deserves it.
Yeah.
So, you know how WWE's always like a couple years behind on trends, trying to be cool? So, yes. They're going to have a cage match, but it's going to be like those first-person Battle Royale, like Fortnite-type games, where the cage is like super large to begin with. And then slowly as the match goes on, the cage gets smaller and smaller, and then soon enough, if you haven't won yet, the cage is just right around the ring, and it gets lower, and like you have to beat them, or you're just gonna get crushed by the cage. That's where they're going. That's the next iteration.
I only say, why would you say that out loud? Because I'm convinced Vince does watch this show.
Actually, for anybody, I feel like that's something old TNA would have done if they had the idea.
Old TNA absolutely would have done that. Like they'd have figured out some way to do that.
In this age,
100%.
in this age of cinematic matches, they'll find a way, right? I mean, I don't
And
particularly think cinematic matches are going away at this point, but you know. So.
And for some reason, though, James Storm would have been in that match. I don't know why, but I just know James Storm would have been in that match. I don't know what he would have been doing, but he would have been in that.
I think I don't mind the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I just think it's in the wrong spot on the calendar. I think it needs to be in December. You have Survivor Series December. Have it in December. Here's where you be all end all feuds, because everything seems to reset right into WrestleMania season. Right into the new year. Hey, Rumble's on the way. Now we get into WrestleMania season. That's what these feuds kind of pick off. But it seems like Hell in a Cell in December, like Armageddon Hell in a Cell. Call it Armageddon. You don't even have to call it Hell in a Cell. Call it WWE Armageddon. Bring that back. That was. I mean, that was always a fun match to play in the video game too. 6-man Hell in a Cell. You know. So I think it's best suited at the end of the year. Money in the Bank as a pay-per-view, no problem with it, because this is something that could last a whole year with the contract. There's something built to that, you know?
Yeah, that was the see, with Money in the Bank being its own pay-per-view, I didn't mind that once they did it, because I thought that made more sense.
Yes.
Putting it in WrestleMania was a good way to start it. Giving it its own pay-per-view was kind of the next logical progression. So that I was cool with. I was like, all right, that makes sense. You know?
Yeah. That's the spot to do it. I mean, do y'all even think they should have a TLC pay-per-view, given that that's currently in December? You know?
I would switch them around. I would move TLC somewhere else. Because I don't mind the TLC pay-per-view so much, because they actually do have other TLC-related matches. They'll have, like, a tables match or a chairs match.
Or a ladder match.
Yeah, but it just... I guess my problem with so many of these, it makes you have to fix this feud you're in to the pay-per-view, as opposed to the more logical sense of the matches at the pay-per-view being based off the feuds. Because you talk about TLC, how many times? I started using chairs. Now we're having a chair match, and you're having a ladder match. And then remember the one year they tried to throw stairs in there, and they were like, and stairs. Like,
okay, that's fair.
I mean, if you just keep doing it every year, then the feuds just become more contrived as far as having to fit those type of matches into what you're doing, as opposed to the far more logical sense of these feuds require certain matches. You know, undercard feuds could have a chair match or something match, where your bigger ones, you know, would have Hell in the Cell, and, you know, like the second tier ones could have the tables match. It makes more sense, but, you know, WWE's always trying to figure out gimmicks to get people interested, and I get that knowing there's going to be a Hell in a Cell match for some people, especially a more casual fan, will be like, oh, I like big Hell in a Cell cage matches. I'll get it for this month or whatever. So I can kind of see it both ways.
Yeah, fair.
Well, as for our picks on this show, we all actually went 4-1 based on what we picked on Tuesday, and yes, that does include Mysterio and Roman, even though it did take place on SmackDown. I went and counted it because we did predict it. We all got it right. The only one we technically missed was Charlotte and Rhea, because technically Charlotte won by DQ, even though Rhea Ripley controlled the title. So
yeah,
that depresses me.
We're one DQ finish from all of us pulling a Tez. That's basically what it is. So
yeah.
Like Super Tez.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan.
Now on to our WrestleCast ratings for WWE Hell in a Cell. If you are watching live and you want to give your rating as well, 0 to 5, 5 being WrestleMania 17, 0 being December to Dismember. Throw in your rating right now in the chat. We'll read some of them off as we get them, or even if you want to share your quick thoughts as well too, you're more than welcome on the pay-per-view overall. Tina actually did submit a rating. She did watch pay-per-view with me.
Okay.
She gave this a 4.5.
Really?
Honestly thought it was a really good pay-per-view. There wasn't anything really bad about it. Even the match we didn't talk about, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, was short by their standards. Like, you want that to go on, but it was still great. Wasn't anything bad about it. Just little things here and there, but it's just the fact that Bianca and Bayley went first and stole the show. It's really what it comes down to, you know? Yeah. Me personally, 4.25. It's right up there. It feels like the show was, you had Bianca and Bayley, and it kind of just fell down a little bit. Got a little bit better at the end, but it's like, you know, I think that DQ finish really irked me a bit. Like, I'm tired of seeing that. I'm tired of seeing that kind of a finish. I'm just sick of seeing Charlotte in the main event picture. Like, there's other people that need to step up too, but I gave it a 4.25. Still a solid show, and I'll say that because I didn't have high hopes for this pay-per-view. I've been scorned too much by the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view at this point. So
that damn no contest finish! Exactly. I can't forgive that. I cannot forgive that.
Mike, what are your thoughts on Hell in a Cell?
I think I'm about with you. Probably about a 4.25. Mm-hmm. In my head, the matches were all solid. Some of the results and some of them were like, again, I mean, I guess technically the Lashley McIntyre one seems to be the end of that feud, at least for now. But like some of the other ones just kind of felt like continuations, or I don't know. There was just something weird about it. Like the matches, the action was really good. Some of the finishes, the roll-ups, the quick things were so-so. And I don't know. I feel like they're just kind of in a little bit of a holding pattern because their whole big push now is to get to the, back onto the fans back in and all that kind of stuff. So it was good, but I just felt like some things were just So there were 4.25. I mean, it wasn't like it was bad.
There were a lot of sudden finishes on the night, weren't there? A lot of roll-up things, Burnsy gives it a 4.25 as well. Tommy, what about you?
To me, I give this a solid 4. Like, okay. I don't know. It was okay. I don't know. I guess I'm just jaded by the whole Hell in a Cell thing. It's like that just it sometimes kills it for me. It's like okay. I think my main thing is when I was getting back into wrestling in high school, the Hell in a Cell was the main thing that caught my attention right away because I hadn't watched it in so long. So one of the first clips I saw when I got back into it was the Mankind fall. So I was like, I immediately said, "What the hell have I been missing?" So I started watching it again, and so it's like that. I will say, Ernest, Bianca and Bailey, if you want to continue to capture the spirit of Hell in a Cell, okay, there you go. Mm-hmm. So yeah, but 4 for me. So not a bad show. I just it wasn't the greatest. To me,
you could have done a 30-minute Bianca and Bailey match. That'd be your whole pay-per-view, and it would have been a 5. It really.
I think if this was literally the only match the whole show, I probably would have given it a
5. With that, our overall rating actually works out to a 4.25. So.
By the way, I just saw Burnsy's comment and forget you. No, I won't let it go.
He actually just popped that one in there. Yeah. I'd have to look back and see, but that might be the highest rated Hell in a Cell pay-per-view we've done on the show. In the few years
what did we give that one with Seth and the Fiend? I don't.
2s and 3s.
It might have been. Let me go back and look.
I think I was mad because.
Let's see.
Oh man, I remember being unreasonably angry at that match.
See, Hell in a Cell. Last year, Hell in a Cell was actually a 3.83. And
which one was the one last year? What was that?
I can't remember.
Hold on.
The one
obviously it wasn't great.
No.
No, seriously.
Okay, the one 2 years ago, which I think had the whole no contest finish. That was probably the lowest pay-per-view we've ever rated on the show. It was a 2.9375.
Oh jeez,
that's how bad it was. Mad. Tommy, you gave it a 2. You were really upset. Yeah.
And it's also kind of funny because I was literally about to sit here going like, guys, are we really doing a 0 through 5 or are we just doing a 4 through 5 rating system? Because we always seem to be, unless it's really horrible, between 4 and 5. But now that you say those last two ones, it was just really, they haven't been that bad for a while. So
no, they haven't. And honestly, the wrestling this year thus far has been good.
It's true.
So
I kind of have something that ties into that for my 1-minute warning, so it's funny we bring that up.
Cool.
So last year's Hell in a Cell was the one where Reigns and Jey Uso were in the Hell in a Cell I Quit match. It was Orton and McIntyre in the Hell in a Cell where Randy Orton won randomly, even though McIntyre won it like 2 weeks later. I think that's probably one reason why we gave it such a low rating because that made literally no sense.
And it was later in the year, so it seems like it was close.
That's right. Yeah, it was later in the year too. It was random that way.
Although that was the match where Sasha and Bailey were in Hell in a Cell, so that's
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what saved the show, honestly.
All All right. Well, that's our thoughts on Hell in a Cell. How we did with our predictions and everything. Let us know again what you think. If you're catching this later on, you can leave them in the chat. You can tweet at us, TCG_WrestleCast. We do have a bit of wrestling news to discuss, and again, share your thoughts on this. There's quite a bit to talk about. I'm actually going to do the second one really quick because it seems like everyone in wrestling is having babies right now. Cody and Brandi Rhodes, congratulations. As we had talked about with Moxley and Renee Young last week, also both parents for the very first time. Both gave us. I think everyone has girls right now, right? That Mox and Renee they had girls. So
they had girls too.
Congrats to Brandi. Congrats to Cody. Parenthood is what it is, and right before Father's Day too. So congrats to
everybody. And you know what? Mm-hmm. I would make this joke for Triple H. I gotta make it for Tony Khan too. He's already booking them as the first women's tag team champions. Look, hey, Tony Khan, sorry, you gotta get these jokes too, fam.
Oh my God. you say that, and now I just want to see like the Rhodes daughter, kind of a more prim and proper wrestler, and the Mox daughter, like the punk rock girl, like that would be like perfect.
So basically, Mox's daughter is Shotzi Blackheart, while Cody's daughter is more like Taya Valkyrie, just with the fur.
I was going more the direction of Rock and Mankind, the Rock and Sock connection. Just you have Mox as the Mankind.
That works even better. Yeah,
the prim and proper.
Like the Rhodes daughters, like grappling, throwing holds, and then you tag in the Mox daughter, and she's like bringing in chairs and dropping elbows.
They are going to be fighting on the playground left and right, just like on top of like the on top of the slide, just pushing kids down left and right.
Oh my God. Real quick, it reminds me of back on Cabana's podcast when he had Xavier Woods and then he had Cody, because they had the story of when they knew each other in high school. Do y'all remember this?
I vaguely remember.
Cody, obviously being the Rhodes, was like this big high school superstar, and Xavier Woods was really good too. And apparently they faced each other once, and Rhodes beat him. And Xavier Woods tell the story of like there was this girl he had known for a long time. They were friends, but he had a huge crush on her. And I think the story goes, if I remember correctly, he found out that she started dating this guy. And he found out it was Cody Rhodes, and they're at a bowling alley, and he like bowls a strike, and then Cody turns around like, "Oh yeah, I beat that guy," and so of course Woods tells the story like he's the biggest heel in the world. Cody's like, "Oh, what are you talking about? We were like the nicest guy," and Xavier Woods and his thug friends came in and tried to intimidate. Like, it's a great going back if you can ever find those. But that's exactly what I see. Like the Rhodes daughter, maybe Charlotte is a better idea of what the Rhodes daughter will be compared to the Mox daughter, who's maybe a Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah. Oh man, I just hope 20 years from now we could talk about this again.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. Well, it's all gonna come full circle for us, and by then I'll probably feel pretty old. So
actually, it's gonna be Adi and Jay on their podcast talking about parents used to always talk. Our parents and godparents and uncles and aunts used to talk about this Moxley and Rhodes, but apparently their parents were something back then.
Yeah.
Apparently their parents. Oh God, we're gonna hit that age.
All right. Well, unfortunately, people younger than us have decided to take the next step in their wrestling careers.
Yeah.
We had I just found out right now there is actually a third retirement. David Arquette has retired from pro wrestling.
Oh.
He put that out and he says, reason, quote, "It hurts." Yeah, don't blame you, bro.
To be fair, David Arquette in the last couple years, the work he has put in on pro wrestling,
you know
what?
It
kind of erases the whole mess from WCW for him on his side.
I respect him for saying that was horrible. I hated that we did that. He didn't want to at the time anyway. But I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to put in the time to show that I can do this and actually respect the business, and he did. So I'm glad he did it. And
I always felt like he got the bad shake for that deal anyway. It's not like he was controlling the booking anyway.
Yeah.
He
I think if he has one regret, it's getting into a death match with Nick Gage. Sorry, I don't know why you did it, but
And Nick Gage
yeah, I know.
Nick Gage is the nicest. Nick Gage is the nicest dude ever. But no.
What is it with deathmatch guys like Necro and Summers and?
Because Necro is a super nice.
Yes, he is. That's what I mean.
He really is. He really is.
They even portrayed that in the
Masada, Masada,
Masada.
yeah, nice guy. I need to get an interview with him on the show. It'd be really fun. So
That'd be awesome.
I'm gonna try to.
Right.
Yeah.
Deathmatch guy. Oh, Casanova Valentine. I will. I met him at a heavy metal show. He is a known deathmatch guy, and I can't say enough nice things about him. Mm-hmm. I talk with him after the show. I talk to him on Twitter sometimes. He is just the nicest guy I think I have ever randomly met. Like who I didn't know for a while, and then we built up a friendship. No, just met him. He's like, "Hey man, nice to meet you." I'm like, "What the hell?" This dude is so kind.
They just get that aggression out in the deathmatch. Probably what it is.
I guess so.
I met him after the show. He was still bloody. He was still. Mm-hmm. He had a beard. It's like, "Hey man, nice to meet you. Yeah, let's take a picture. Sure, it's free. No problem. I can't wait to come back." Who is this guy? He's so nice.
Well. Other retirements that were announced. The first one I'll mention is Angel Blue, who not too long ago we actually did have an interview with her on the show. Go back and check it out on the YouTube channel. I had an interview with Angel Blue. She, of course, at the time had been recovering from a severe neck injury. She put on her Facebook, "It's time for me to walk away from wrestling. Thank you to all the fans and wrestling family that supported me over the past 14 and a half years. I love you all. I want to point out that this decision to step away was not an easy one to make and not something I took lightly. My neck won't allow me to wrestle. It's been 2.5 years since my injury, and I'm no closer to return than I was the day I got injured. I love wrestling, and I'd love for things to be different, but that's not my reality. Please respect my decision. This is hard enough as it is. Thank you." Angel, Nikki, as I know you personally, Tina and I got nothing but love for you. We've been close for so many years, Gosh, remember holding your daughter when she was born a few months later. Tina and I had made a trip to Dallas to go to a football game, and then just to see you was really awesome. So I know this is difficult for you because as long as I've known you, and even in that interview, your passion for wrestling has been amazing. By your own admission, you weren't the most athletic person, but you had a passion for this. You did this. You trained. You trained in. At the time when it was really a male-dominated sport, and to the most part it still is, women are getting recognition, but I always enjoyed how you got a crowd to just turn on you so easily, especially the guy at the bottom of the screen here, and the way that worked out so many years. But I will say this, there is definitely a future for you yelling "Crash Pad" on your TikTok with Barrett Brown, because it is pretty damn hilarious. But there is still a place for you in wrestling. I will say that. Whether it's as a manager, as a trainer, you're very, very smart when it comes to this business. And I really, really hope that you are at peace with decision number one. As difficult as it is, I know it's going to be hard for you to adjust. But being there for your daughter, Mia, and just to be a part of this business one way or another, it's something that's always going to be in your blood, whether you can take the bumps or not. I knew you were going to be a star when you wrestled with the Smurf Nation, and the way you stood up to Jerry Lynn. I said, this girl's going to be awesome. She's going to be something in Texas and anywhere she goes. Unfortunately, a neck injury, sometimes it's just like that. It's just the worst luck, and it just
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So. Really sucks.
Guys, any thoughts on Angel Blue, her career, what you'd like to say? Or
just real quick, because I know you and Tommy know her a little bit more than I do, but I just want to say thank you, because you were incredibly entertaining all the times that we saw you at AEW and stuff, and you really did improve so much in such a short period of time from when you first got out there to when you were the mega star, the mega heel, where the whole crowd just hated her beyond belief, and it was pretty amazing. So just thank you, and I wish you luck with whatever else you're looking to do, and with your family. So
You guys remember her first name and why she had to change it?
Electra Blue, because it was the name of a porn star. I do remember that. Yes.
I was because every time whenever I bring that up, no one else knows that anymore. I'm like, dang it, that did happen. I remember this specifically.
Angel Blue was definitely a good change, though. It really was. Yeah. So.
Submission
Tommy,
sorority, anybody?
Submission. Yeah.
Oh man! Oh, that whole debacle! Oh my lord!
Tommy, you have a long history with Angel Blue.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah.
Up and down.
So-
doesn't Tommy have a long history?
I know, but it's always fun to hear the
Blue is
stories.
special, though.
Yeah,
But,
Go ahead.
me and her up and down I-35 more or less, bro. It's just if it was a city that connects to I-35, me and her were just yelling at each other left and right. One of my favorite memories though is it might have been the third or fourth show Lagaya ever went with me to. It might have been the second or third Alana was at, and it was ACW. Angel Blue came out, and I said, well, they are going to get the full experience today because the thing is with me and her is I'm her favorite target and she is mine because there is almost nothing we can say that actually offends the other because we just don't give a damn anymore. We just didn't care. It was like, it's like she's like, you're black. Well, like, well, you're skinny. We didn't care. It's like, whatever dumb thing we could think of, like at the moment, we would say. And then after the show, we didn't care. We hung out like even as a joke. Just between the two of us, JC, I don't know if we ever told you this. We danced at your wedding simply because we said we were going to, and it was going to be hilarious. We just said we're dancing at JC's wedding, and we said there was no point, there was no logic as to why we were going to do this. We weren't saying, hey, let's make a big deal of it. No, we were just like, we're going to dance at this wedding, and I was like, sure.
I'm glad y'all did. I'm glad y'all had a good time. Although I half expected one of y'all to go through the prop table at the photo booth, or somebody get thrown in the river.
Now, we might have discussed doing that. We thought we might ruin the wedding. Not ruin it for you two, but your family wouldn't have known what the hell was going on.
Yeah, well, they might have understood when we came out with ACW championship. And
honestly, Tommy, you probably would have been the one arrested. So.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Did y'all get a photo booth picture together? I don't know if y'all did or not. I need to go back and look at them. Yeah.
I don't know if we... Oh, wait, no. I want to say we did.
Like part of a group or something?
Check. Yeah. Might have been with the group. But yeah, it's just those kind of stories like when she would pop up like at wrestling shows just randomly. Another favorite memory is when I got to a show late, big surprise, and she won the tag. It was Inspire Pro. She won the tag belt with Steve Reno, and I looked at him. I said, "No, what are you doing? Why her? Why her?" So and we took a picture together of like me being sad about that, like that they won the tag belt. So yeah, I mean, it's just memories of just her being fun. And she's great in the ring. She was one of the people in Texas who could make a crowd instantly hate her. She would get the mic during a match to purposely piss off the crowd. And if people don't get the genius behind the heel work behind that, then I kind of feel sorry for you because that's just genius heel work there. Mm-hmm. So, I'm going to miss seeing her in the ring, but, in the day, she's still a friend of mine. I still love her to death. And, if she chose to walk away, for her health, I understand. I'm going to miss her like crazy, but you know what? As long as she's healthy, that's what's most important.
But definitely most important, too. So
yeah.
Keep making videos with Barrett Brown where y'all just get like random flavored sodas from truck stops or whatever and bring them home and taste test it. Those are hilarious.
Those two, whatever they post, I'm in. Because it's just because they're so stupid. And I love them so much.
Now, from one retirement to another, one that I'm sad about, but knowing who this person is, I personally am not 100% convinced this is it for him. I think he needs a full mental break from it, but if this is it, that's fine. ACH, I'm wearing the shirt. Very sad to hear about his retirement. I need to actually find the post where he announced. I think it was like on Instagram or something, but let me see if I can find it. But
okay.
Did you have it, Tommy, or no? I don't know.
Oh no, I was gonna look for it too.
Okay. This one I have so many memories of ACH for so long. It's been crazy. So here we go. No need for the dramatic or emotional wordplay, as today I will officially step away from pro wrestling. Thank you all for the love and support. Real quick message, really. There wasn't a whole lot to it. Obviously, I don't know if he's going to give a full statement later. We know the controversy with him and the Jordan Miles character in WWE is related. to that. But ACH was quickly fast one of my favorites, and he always appreciated myself and the other members of the 5150 Mafia. I think it was was it a CWF show when he first time I saw him, and he had this all-American look up, and we called him Black Angle.
That.
We called him Black Angle, and he loved it. He loved it. He still remembers that, you know. But I was always a fan of his in RCW, ACW, wherever he went. Being excited for him when he went to Ring of Honor. Definitely being excited for him as his career just progressed. And he just kind of went everywhere. It was amazing to watch.
Even Taiji Ishimori, who he tagged with in Japan a couple times, even comment. Yeah.
It sucks what happened with WWE. I wish things could have been a lot better in that situation. We've talked extensively about it. Won't talk more about it, but I will say this. I love ACH even more too because, like me, he's also a fellow Titans fan. And when the Titans years ago somehow got Derrick Henry in the draft, late rounds, he's the first one to message me. He's like, "Bro, did you see this? Did you see this?" You know, so it's always fun. He's also a big Spurs fan.
In your defense, Derrick Henry's a beast. So yeah,
yes,
you can't have
the excitement of that was crazy. So, but ACH, man, it's again another person where there's still a place in wrestling for him. I don't know if this will be it, but if it is, it's definitely left a lot of memories because I have so many memories of so many great matches. It's hard to pick just one. So, guys, any words you want to share? Same for you guys out there if you have any memories of ACH.
You know, I've been thinking about some of my favorite moments that I've been in person for to see, and you know, I got to see Sean and Taker at the end of Royal Rumble 07, finish that off. You know, being at WrestleMania 32 to see the ladder match and Zack Ryder's moment, which was super cool. But I'm not sure anything will top ACH winning the Lone Star Classic with the Nasty Boys involvement.
Oh my god!
That kind of that was one of the funniest things I have ever been a part of, and it's just kind of funny that, you know, it was him. It was his big moment. He was becoming such a big star in ACW. He was getting that.
That one was rough.
But no, I mean, like he was just. We saw him rise. We saw him grow into a superstar. You know, we were so pumped when he got signed with ROH. We kept hearing, you know, oh, he's definitely going to go to NXT when it started, you know, picking up. And like you said, it's really unfortunate the way things turned out there. But, you know, he's just always put on great matches. He's always been a real cool guy anytime we've ever talked to him. Again, like most of the wrestlers, I know you guys usually talk to him a lot more than I ever do. But he was always cool whenever, you know, I would talk with him briefly. And so, you know, if this is it, you know, again, I hope you find something, you know, to do for the rest of your life or something else that you can put all your energies into. And if it's not, you know, maybe down the road you come back, and that'd be pretty cool too. So whichever way it goes.
Maybe I'll see him down the road in a video game tournament because he's a big fighting game guy as well. So I know that much. So, Tommy, any words you got for ACH?
Yeah, because I just remembered something that I oh man, I forgot all about this till just now. Okay, before I say that story, yeah, just knowing him for all those years, like the picture I put on Instagram was just the 4 I picked. There were a couple more I didn't add. There was one of me, him, and Sean Vex, which I mentioned I had during when Sean Vex passed, and there's another when Akira Tozawa was here. And the three of us did like the Kamehameha pose. That is one of my favorite pictures I've ever taken ever because it's so geeky in several different arenas that I was like I found my people. So, but okay. So what I was laughing about just now was I forgot that ACH and Sean Vex did an interview. It was with someone local, and my name came up. Because of how I was always messing, me and Gary J were always insulting each other, and those two jackasses said, I forget who said it first. They said it's because they're secretly in love, and they both started singing "Secret Lovers" at the same time. And I watched the interview, and I said, both of you suck, and you're not my friends. I messaged them after because no. I think Sean or ACH told me about the interview. They said, "Have you seen the interview yet?" I was like, "No, why? Go watch it." And I messaged back, "Both of you suck, and I hate you both, and you're not my friends." but yeah, it's just dumb stuff like that. It's seeing him like I actually got to meet. I think it was his sister-in-law, and his uncle came to my church like 3 or 4 times. Because one time he stopped me and he's like, I've seen you before, and I was like, you see my nephew wrestle. I was like, oh, who's your nephew? Albert. I was like, ACH, really? So, which is also amazing. I knew his first name enough to like, oh, ACH. So it's just stuff like that. Like some personal stories that without his permission I won't tell, but just personal stories and stuff like that. And it's just he was just a cool guy. If he's stepping away, like you said, for mental health reasons, whatever, what have you. Good for him. I'm sorry. Like his career really didn't take off like it really should have. It really sucks that like so many unfortunate things happened to him, and people can read up those stories like the WWE thing, some of the ROH stuff that he's talked about. It sucks that stuff happened, but circumstances always turn out like that, unfortunately. But hopefully he'll be okay. Hopefully he will come back, and it'll be in a better mindset. Things will go better for him next time around. Because hey, maybe it just wasn't his time right now. But who knows? Maybe he could take a couple years off. Just take a break from it all, do something else, and if he feels like coming back, he come back stronger. It's happened in wrestling before. It could happen now. You never know.
Yeah. I remember once talking with Masada once commented on me just randomly. He's like, man, ACH, it's like watching a video game. The way he moves, the moves he pulls off, it was definitely like watching a video game. So, he got so much good feedback on his peers that the moves he could do. It was just amazing.
He was really good at PWG too. They really
One other quick thing I want to throw in real quick, because Tommy kind of made me think of it. Also, I've started following a lot Matthew, who he runs the Botchamania, and I see him a lot because he does the weekly podcast with Cultaholic. But he posted after the announcement that he was sad because he started watching. And again, I'm not a big anime person, so I think it's One Piece, which is the one ACH got into and would like cosplay out to the ring, right?
Yeah, when he did the
straw hat
the straw hats, because when he did the double stomp, he called it the gum stomp. That's One Piece. Yeah.
So it's kind of cool because Matthew basically commented he was sorry to hear about this because he got into it. He was hoping to talk to him one day and converse about it. So because if you follow him or watch him, he is just the most sarcastic guy ever. Like real, everything's a joke. It's Botchamania. But I thought it was cool because he was just like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear about this," and so I thought it was pretty funny. And so hopefully whatever he does going forward, he enjoys it.
One final comment on this for Tina and myself. ACH will always have a special place in our hearts. When he made our Ring of Honor debut, we took a picture. Tina's wearing his ACH shirts, and we just texted him, say, "Hey, we're here supporting you." He took that picture and just tweeted it, said, "People back home showing love," and we do appreciate that.
Yeah.
And when we showed up at our wedding reception, we're holding the ACW Heavyweight Championship. Tina was holding the ACW American Joshi Championship.
Yeah.
And we were walking out to The Show Goes On by Lupe Fiasco, ACH's long-used entrance theme,
Yeah.
I've probably heard that song 700 times. I could probably repeat it without music and get most of it right.
It's just when
right there with you.
Tina and I knew we were going to make some sort of wrestling-related entrance. Props to Darren and Rachel Summerlin and Becca, who picked up the championship belts from them. Actually had them in a bag in a church. So at our wedding in a church, Becca had the championship belts there and got them to us before the reception so we can make the entrance. We knew we were going to make that kind of an entrance. Things just fell into place, and we knew that was the song we wanted to come out to.
It was hands down one of the best entrances of a wedding party I'd ever seen anyway.
Thank you. It was so much fun.
I remember watching that. I was thinking, oh, they won. When you guys came out, I was just like, oh, they won. They have won. Like it's over.
And the best part about that is that the guy that was editing our wedding video, he ran it was basically the McCollum High School student production at the time. They put all that together. The students filmed it. They put it together for us. The closing of it is they put The Show Goes On as like the go away song of pictures of us going away with the horse carriage at the end of the night. So ACH, thank you so much for all the wrestling memories. I do hope you'll stay in touch, because with us getting Julio Jones out of a trade, this has got to be the year for the Titans if we could just get the damn defense right. So, come on, man. I want to be able to celebrate a Super Bowl with you as a fellow Titans fan. We got to do this, man. So, because my abs sucked it up against Vegas. Goddammit, so. All right. With that, we'll move into our 1 minute warning. I don't want to go into detail about that. That's a whole other story.
Podcast.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. That might just be a video of me ranting, to be honest with you. Mike.
That's what my channel's for.
Mike, you said you had something for 1 minute warning earlier in the show.
Yeah.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Yeah, so this is something that I've heard a few times over the past couple weeks, and when JC kind of made a comment about it, about how the wrestling's been pretty solid the past year, it kind of made me think. But I think some of this has to do with the fact that they've been at the Thunderdome in one place the whole time, And when you think about what it's normally been for years and their touring schedule, you've heard all of them talk about what a grind it is to go to the show, get out late. Drive in the middle of the night to the next city, barely get any sleep, get up, the whole. So to think about for the last year and a half, they've been able to basically be home, get rest, go to the one show a week, maybe two if there's a pay-per-view. And then, a lot of them live in the Florida area now. But even if not, go home and really enjoy itself. And I think it's shown in the wrestling. It's not been anything over the top, but it's been pretty solid all year. And I'm kind of interested to see how things change once they're back on the road, and how it's going to be for them to adjust to that. Because we talk about it as normal civilians, what it's like to adjust to going out again and going into a store, and they're going to get back to traveling on a constant basis. So it'll be really interesting to see how that affects them over the next couple months.
I was actually going to talk about something similar, so I'll just kind of jump on it and say, please keep a lesser schedule. For this basic reason, the wear and tear on the bodies. This will extend people's careers a lot. We don't need 10,000 live events a year. We don't need to split the rosters that way. Not to say I'm not happy that they're touring back on the road, but I think maybe if you do 1 or 2 live events a month, fine. You're making the money off of merchandise sales as it is. So, just keep the quick loops on TV schedules and go from there. I think that's worked out well. I think that's why AEW wrestlers are appreciating it more. They just have a TV loop, and then that's really it for them. They have time with their families. And I think they'd be hard-pressed to have to just give up that time at home all of a sudden to go back on the road full-time, and it's going to be a stressful environment. You got to take care of your employees. So I really hope that that's the route that they go and make some adjustments too. So. Yeah.
And here's one other little thing I'll add to that to kind of finish it off. I don't want to hear that they need to do touring because they're losing money. If anything, we've learned over the past year and a half, they are making money hand over fist. And in fact, I've often heard they probably lose money on touring because of having to take the trucks on the road and a bunch of the arena costs and stuff. So, I know it's cool to be back in front of fans. Don't get me wrong. You definitely need fans in the crowd, but I agree. They're for TV shows and pay-per-views, and then not as much after that, because it will, I agree with you 100%, be better for your wrestlers long term.
The interesting part is that WWE has struggled to sell some tickets to some of their live shows and TV shows recently, whereas I did see a seating chart for AEW going to Austin, and the damn thing is about 99% sold out. Literally, the only seats are available are pretty much obstructed view, where the stage is, or kind of behind the stage. That's what they got left. So,
it's kind of not surprising.
No, it really isn't. So it's exciting
for the company that has no fans. I'm sure you see a lot of fans at these shows. Exactly. For no one to like AEW, which is also the argument I hear from people who I know who watch wrestling. Apparently, no one likes AEW. It's not her. Apparently, someone.
All right, Tommy.
You can only like things the way I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Tommy, do you have something this week?
I actually do. Yeah.
All right. Whenever you're ready, 3, 2, 1, and go.
for starters, congrats to Shingo Takagi for winning the IWGP World Championship. He actually beat Okada to win the vacant belt after Ospreay's injury. I honestly didn't see it coming, but hey, good for him. But the big thing I was talking about is Tony Khan announced that he has new plans for AEW Dark when AEW gets on the road again. He wants to film it in its own venue, in a separate building, like in its own venue for developmental purposes. And I like that because, to me, it's like AEW, to me, is doing the thing that they should. They're throwing stuff to the wall and seeing what sticks. When they had the Nightmare Collective, that didn't stick, they 86'd it. Mm-hmm. You know, with Dark, you know, especially lately, that was just getting people on the show to get them working. So, you know, Dark worked that way because, God, people needed a job. So that worked. Now they can tour again, so what's going to happen with Dark? And they have Dark Elevation and everything. Well, now, with Dark, you can focus on the developmental. And see, this is my point where everyone's saying, well, AEW doesn't do this, doesn't do that. Well, guys, it's been, what is this, year 3, if that?
Not even, right?
Not even, I don't think, you're right. And it's like, let them find their footing. Let them get things wrong. And, you know, yeah, I admit, I'm critical of them when they do some things. I'm like, hey, you shouldn't do that. But, yeah, let them get it wrong. Then when they get it right, it's going to work. They have to get stuff wrong first. Dark, sure. Maybe Dark wasn't the greatest show ever. I still enjoy it. I still watch it. I like watching Dark and Dark Elevation, but you know, and now they have more of a plan with it. Go for it, and let's.
How many people on Dark became stars because they were on Dark? People got to see them. I mean, Big Swell's a prime example too. I mean, for me personally,
and you know what, and you know who I'm quickly loving, the Wingmen, Nick Nemeth and all those guys. Oh my God, they are freaking hilarious, and I don't give a damn what no marks say. Those guys are the 2021 Job Squad, and I am here for this because they're hilarious.
It is just it's so weird seeing Nick Nemeth there because you're like, it's not. I mean, like dollar store version.
Tina really thought. We get
Dolph Ziggler? We have Dolph Ziggler at home.
Tina really thought, like, what the hell is that Ziggler? Ziggler's in AEW. He's like, oh no, looks like a Ziggler impersonator. And then I shows like, oh no, it's his brother. Oh. Well, Dolph's better looking anyway, you know, so it's just hilarious what she said.
No, you know what it is? Ziggler is the MCU actors. Nemeth is the video game that came out. That's what it is. I'm sorry, they're both great looking and far better looking than I am. But that's
CCG_WrestleCast.
By the way, back to the beginning of your 1 minute warning. I will quote Mr. Will Ospreay on his tweet after Takagi won.
Man.
Google the word interim, and I'm with you on that, Ospreay. I'm with you on that.
But no, I saw that tweet and I was like,
yeah,
savage.
Takagi is just holding the belt for Will Ospreay.
Dude, I was like, that hit me in my soul. I was like, ooh, yeah. I said it chilled through me. Damn.
Tommy, I know you mentioned this earlier in the show about when you went up there, but does it ever just like in your head, you're like, you know what? I saw a New Japan show in Texas. Mm-hmm. Like, every now and then you just stop and be like, wow.
Okay, no lie, it does hit me like that sometimes. Look, it may make me the ultimate wrestling nerd. I don't care. Sometimes I just stop. I went up to my wife who was with me. And I just walked into the bedroom one day. I was like, babe, I saw New Japan in Texas. Mm-hmm. They were in this state. I saw Okada and Tanahashi live. She's like, yes, babe. I was like, wow. And I just walked out the room. And sometimes it does. It's one of those moments where it's like I have that same reaction when I like some of the wrestlers I met. Like Scott Norton's birthday just passed, and I was like, dude, I met him once. And he was a super nice guy. And another again, like deathmatch legend, super tough, brawny guy can beat you up still at his age. Nicest guy. Hey man, how you doing? Shook my hand. Like what the hell? Yeah. It does hit me, and it's a really cool feeling to know I was there. And the number of pictures I took that day, I still have to remember whenever I want.
Yep.
Thank you everyone for joining us. If there's anything you wanted to share with us or chat more with us, our Twitter account at @CCG_WrestleCast. It's at the bottom of the screen. You can see there. Next week. Won't be really talking wrestling. Mike, you want to explain what we'll be doing next week? Because you had an idea for a game, and I think this is going to be fun. So
I don't want to go too far into it, but basically what it is and for full disclosure, because I'm always honest about this, I really love what they do. I got this from a podcast of Cultaholic Wrestling. It's probably been about a month since they did it. but they have a segment where fans write in, and sometimes they'll do kind of rapid response questions where they all just give the quickest answer. Well, this one guy sent it in, and basically the idea is he's going to give you two scenarios of booking decisions that you could change, and you get to choose one or the other. And it seems simple enough, but they do both positive ones, like, let's just say people lost a match that you're always upset about. Which one would you rather have? If you could change it that they would have won, which one would you do? But then they also do some negative. Here are two things we love that happen. What if only one could stay and the other one had to get reversed?
Oh boy!
Ooh.
So it was fun, and it brings out some really fun discussion. And I know we'll have a field day with some of these. So yeah, it's kind of fantasy booking, but
already nervous.
Yeah.
But there's both sides to it. It's not just if you could have changed one thing, make it better. It's what if you had to keep only one of two good things? Mm-hmm. How would you do it?
Your climax still happened in Dallas. I don't care what the other pick is. That's the one that happened.
So that is what we're going to be doing next week on the show. A little break from the pay-per-views because there's kind of a break in that. In 2 weeks, we're going to be talking about Ring of Honor Best in the World. Kind of happy to see Ring of Honor. I believe they're going to do this in Baltimore, so they might have a crowd again. I can't remember.
I think the rumor is they will have limited fans.
Nice.
From what I'm hearing, they will have limited fans.
But next week, Mike's going to be kind of taking that game. We're going to have a little bit of fun. If you have some potential scenarios you might want to throw out there, tweet them at us, CCG_WrestleCast at the bottom of the screen again. Just to kind of give you a rundown of what's coming up for us within the next few weeks. So we're going to play that scenario game there next week. In 2 weeks, we'll talk about Ring of Honor Best in the World. The following week, we will probably be doing shows. Haven't decided either that Friday night or Saturday, like midday, where we're going to be previewing Slammiversary and Money in the Bank, which is on the same weekend. Won't be able to do it during the week because T and I and the kids are going to be in SPI, and I'm not lugging my whole desktop down there to do the show, and the internet's not as good down there anyway. But I think it'd be fun, especially with July 14th being the date in the middle of the week where the no competes are done. We're going to get an Impact on Thursday, and we could I think it's good if we talk about Slammiversary and Money in the Bank right before they happen on pay-per-view.
We're probably doing this on Saturday?
Probably on Saturday midday or maybe on Friday night.
Okay.
What if they have a live Impact that they sort of they in their TV tapings and have a live one?
We'll see. I have a feeling they might be taping this stuff and then they can air it and it's not technically competing.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. I keep forgetting that we actually talked about that already.
So potentially
we will see the debut of the recognizables. Archetypals.
I think they actually have a name that they trademarked.
I know, but I didn't want to.
The only reason I did that last week was because I had nothing else to do.
Oh my god, that was great! I love the talk.
I was so mad. I was like, "Fine, I'll do it," because I can't even talk on the show anymore. So I'll just type out. And I just went to. I have like two thesaurus apps.
Mike,
I'm not much of a writing nerd.
Mike, do you want to reveal the name they trademarked or?
Sure. It's the Inspirations with two eyes.
Yes.
Much like the Iconics was with two eyes. So, so that'd be interesting to see.
Mm-hmm.
Allow it.
Yeah. Check Pro Wrestling. Check Pro Wrestling Tees when that stuff comes available. I'm sure Mike will be on there picking up one of their shirts or whether they show up at Impact, which they kind of teased already with the double I at Slammiversary that's probably what's going to be happening. So
again, as I always follow Tommy's lead. Now Jessica McKay, one of my alternate dimension ex-wives. So,
which, by the way, Tommy, yes, Jessica Havoc, engaged to Sami Callihan. Tommy, are you happy or sad about that?
I'm happy.
Okay.
I'm happy because I met Sami Callihan and he terrifies the absolute living crap out of me.
So you have to say that. All right.
Yeah, but no. I heard that. I was just like, that's what's up. That's pretty cool. I'm happy for both of them, legitimately.
Thank you everyone for joining us. We do appreciate it. Over here we got Tommy.
I'm back on the show, baby. Yes.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. And as always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are
fake.
fake.
We'll see you next week.